Hi everybody, this is Angela. I hope that you all have been good and groovy since the last time that you saw me. I've been pretty good. Um, Actually, since you asked, I'm not feeling super great right now. I went out and had hookah Sunday night. Now keep in mind that I have asthma and I live with a smoker, but I hadn't had it in so long and I thought I was doing okay. It ended up giving me the worst headache of days, and then the heat, all the false heat that's on because it's cold outside and it's dry and like bleh. So I've been feeling very crappy the last few days, and because of that I have felt very drained, and I haven't wanted to do much. And so when that happens, I start spending more time on social media. And so what happened was I was on I want y'all to see my boxes. I was on Tumblr and came across a post about being an empath, which I am. Now, on the other channel that I had, or I still have, I talked about being an empath. I talked about being psychic, a clairvoyant, and a medium. To catch all of you up to speed on that and where I am with all of that, I go in and out, and it's because I do a lot of protecting. I don't want to say protective spells. I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea, but I do. It's pretty much what it is, though. Protective spells, protective prayers, so that I'm not giving away my energy unnecessarily. Because what happens as an empath is that you're like, I'm like a huge antenna. I'm like a huge spiritual antenna and a huge emotional antenna. I pick up on people's emotions pretty immediately unless I sort of shut it down. And sometimes I forget to, shut it down, and I shut it down by putting a bubble of protective light around me, and it does work. And so also when you're open spiritually, good things can come in as well as bad things, and bad things are kind of like poltergeists that suck on your energy, and energy vampires, which people can be. And so I've not been experiencing a lot in the ways of clairvoyance, because I keep myself shut down. It's a choice that I've made, because otherwise I find myself all over the place and not really able to focus, and really drained, and just without direction. But some things do seep through. Now, being a medium, that doesn't happen as often, even less than any sort of clairvoyance that I experience, because that takes for me, a level of vulnerability that I just don't always want to have. Right now, not living in my own space, I feel vulnerable in the sense that, when you have your own home, and your own space that's dedicated to you, and you've set it up in a way that is meant to, Oprah once said that your home should rise up to meet you. And well, I don't have my own home, so my home where I live now um, is not customized to me and my spiritual needs, and so I don't have a home that I can go to that immediately grounds me. So I feel very consistently vulnerable in the world right now. I've not had my own place since July, and moved out of my apartment in July. So yeah, ever since then I've felt a little bit up in the air. So I'm really looking forward to landing again. But in this video, I do want to talk about being an empath and how I live with it. I was going to make a video that said how I cope with it. And, coping, when you cope with something, it's kind of like dealing with something that's negative. And being an empath is not negative. It can leave you really vulnerable, but it's not a negative thing in my life. It's something I'm really grateful to be. So what does it mean to be an empath? Well, this is the list that I came across earlier today. She's got her I was about to say my iPad, but it's just a tablet. I don't even know who makes that. It was a gift. But, and all these things that I know, and some of the basic ones are, stuff without being told. Public places like malls or grocery shops can be overwhelming. You feel others' emotions and pains by taking them on as your own. That's a big one. Seeing violence, cruelty, bullying is unbearable. It's funny, I used to get teased for this. It's always been really difficult for me to not only watch scary movies, but watch anything on television where, even if I know it's fictitious, watching a character be humiliated is so unbearable for me, because I feel it, and it's the most uncomfortable feeling, and I've never been able to do that. So that's one of the things. You pick up physical symptoms off of other people, such as colds, body aches, headaches, pains. That only happens when that can only happen to me when it's one person in particular that I'm spending a ton of time around, like a family member that I live with right now, and I realize it's time for me to get it moving because I'm starting to take on some of her physical issues, and it's not fun. It's not a cute look. Um, automatically, I'm a good listener. That's one of the things about being an empath. You always are looking out for the underdog, which is so true. I'm very likely to automatically take up for the underdog, even if I don't know if the underdog is wrong or right. And it goes on, but there were a couple that really hit me that I was like, oh, these are new, and I do relate to them. And one was about always having back pain. And there was another one, but the back pain really struck me because I've been having a lot of back pain. And I happened to come across this other video about by a guy who is on a spiritual journey. He was talking about how a lot of empaths have back pain because of the root chakra and the giving and the energy that we do when we tend to be out of balance, and we don't give that energy back to us. We don't recoup what it is we give away. And that is so me. So a lot of the choices that I've made over the course of my life, the way that I live, even the moment that I'm in now, and I believe you choose your where you are. I've chosen myself into this situation, being without a job. Well, I have a job, but y'all know my history. A lot of these decisions have come because of the way that I experience the world. My job had gotten extremely negative, and it was extremely uncomfortable, and I think a lot of people can cope. I recognized that at the job that I had, probably the majority of the staff did not like their job, but just were okay with it. It was just, that's how life is, and I'm just going to deal with it. Now, I'm not able to do that. I just don't have the capacity. It's as if somebody is literally scratching me, and I'm bleeding. Like, it becomes unbearable to the point where I would become physically ill having to go to work. So I wouldn't. And it's one of the reasons I'm really, this Uber thing has worked out for me because I can go when I feel like it. I make the money I need. And when I need to take time off, I don't have to ask anybody. I don't have to feel guilty. No one is depending on me, because I get overwhelmed. And I'm still, my goal is to figure out a way where I am completely autonomous. I'm not having to deal with the public unless I want to, and I'm still able to make money. So that's really one of my goals, because like today, I wanted to get this video done and get some editing done. Well, editing. And I've been feeling drained because I've not been feeling well. And I know if I put myself in a situation where I'm going to be dealing with the public, I'm going to be in a bad mood. And I'm going to therefore be even more drained. And I'm going to be open more psychically. This is what I've realized. When I'm not feeling well, ironically, it's harder for me to protect myself psychically and spiritually, and I become more open. Which is not always bad, because a lot of times a lot of healing can come to me when I'm open and I'm giving people readings. But it's like this emotional roller coaster, like giving people readings when you're not in like a safe environment, because you never know if somebody's going to be receptive to it. And then, like, as I get information, I have to get rid of it. So I really want to tell people, and if they're not really into it, then I have this information I don't know what to do with. So I try to be careful with all of that. So really taking time for myself is a really, really big one for me. Like, there are days where I'll just go, like, I'll sit at Starbucks all day and sip coffee, and I'll be online. Maybe I'll write in my journal. Lately I've been writing in my computer, because, I'm writing a book very slowly but surely. Another one that I do that gives to me a lot is, but I don't do it often, is go out into nature, because I'm a city girl and I'm a girly girl. I don't like to get dirty. It just is what it is. But that really does center me. Going out into nature, looking at the sky, feeling the wind on my face, touching the grass, touching the trees. It really, really just centers me and grounds me. I feel like there was more. There was more. But I don't remember exactly what it is. But that's how I am living with being an empath. And it's strange, because I enjoy giving readings, and with my readings, it's the way I give readings has changed, because I used to call them aura readings, like I'd see people's auras and sort of tell them about that. But now I recognize that I do see auras, but also it's my psychic language. It's the way that spirit communicates with me so that I can disseminate information, and it's fun. But I don't know, like I would love to do that full time, but I don't know if I can be that full time because it's so physically draining. Um, it can be gratifying, especially being a medium. I feel like I just had a moment. Oh, I was with somebody over the weekend at the Transgender Day of Remembrance at the University of Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky University. And somebody was coming through, but I just didn't feel like it was the time and place, and so I didn't pull this person aside and say anything to them. Um, but yeah, someone was coming through for them, and see, it still lives with me. But normally, if I take the opportunity to disseminate the information, it goes away. So I'm living with all of this and trying to constantly find ways to keep myself safe and healthy. This video is getting longer, so I don't want it to go too much longer. I'm going to talk about this more. This is today's video, talking about me being an empath. I'd love to hear any feedback. You guys know I love engagement. So I'm going to leave it here. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Peace and blessings. Bye.